A French Army veteran and his son are biking around the world honoring wounded veterans, and their goal is to bring a message of hope. Fox 5's Alexis Fernandez reports.
Retired French soldier Gwenaël Breton began his solo journey 2 years ago.
I make this, it's very difficult way because I start with COVID. I want a very difficult way because it's similar way for wounded warrior.
He biked through Europe, Japan, and Korea. He even rode halfway across the Pacific and is now crossing the United States, all to honor wounded veterans like himself.
I am wounded, many problems in my life. My mother jumped and is died, suicide. I divorced 2 times. My heart is wounded, and I am wounded warrior, and I jumped in a helicopter.
He paid a visit to Henry Albert Robinson, a World War II veteran who lives in Henderson and served for more than 2 years.
We had 22 people in my platoon, 22 original people. 4 of us came home, so I'm one of the lucky ones.
Robinson documented his service through letters that he sent to his family. Those old letters are now preserved in a book.
Oh, it's a country.
Stories that can create a common bond.
Always is good. No afraid the family.
It's, of course, amazing, you know. You have no idea what other people have gone through, like this young man. That's just fantastic, wonderful.
Alexis Fernandez, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
And Mr. Robinson will be awarded the French Legion of Honor rank of Knight in January. It's the highest honor that's given by the French government to foreigners.